I guess on that note, my first question to the panel really is on the FDA impact on valuations and timelines in the industry. I think recently we've seen a number of drug launches that really have either underperformed or drugs that really, have nothing preventing them from getting approved. And I guess if you're advising a biotech or pharmaceutical company, how difficult is it right now in terms of the current FDA environment and how you would advise them? I guess, Hunt, if you wanted to.
Well, I think it's obviously when you talk about the FDA, I think that's the great unknown in the business, and I think it's depending on whether you're in the pharma, device, or diagnostic sector, the impact is a little bit different between sectors, but it's clearly not been a positive relationship with the FDA, and the impact that has on valuations and timelines and launches is substantial. I think it affects the smaller companies much more so than the larger companies, and so I'll go out on a limb maybe on that, just because I think from a timeline perspective, very hard to plan your capital allocation and the capital that you raise in your smaller company to actually run your trials and get to FDA. A good example or a sector where that's so very true is sort of looking at the diabetes space. And you look at some of the companies recently, Vivus or Exogen, that have just continuously been pushed out and pushed back from FDA. They go to FDA and they always get comments and need to go back to the drawing board, and capital is finite for these companies. So the impact is substantial. The advice that I think we have to give the smaller and mid-sized companies is to raise, which is what we do, raise as much capital as you can, plan for the worst, and hope for the best. I will say it has had a big impact on. I'm more of a device and diagnostics player, and we've seen ex-U.S. companies, mostly on the European side, who have absolutely just pulled back from investing in U.S. clinical trials and going to U.S. approval because of this uncertainty with the FDA. So rather than have an impact that is maybe requires these companies to go back for more capital or to redo clinical trials, many companies are just saying, we're going to go to Europe first, and we're not going to deal with the U.S. So I think it's substantial. And the last thing I'll say is, despite the FDA and the uncertainty, M&A continues. You've got generic competition. You've got the patent cliff. You've got the need to reduce costs. You've got the need to find areas of growth. And therefore, M&A is one of the vehicles that can be used to achieve those goals by these companies. So I think it's going to continue. Just think the uncertainty is going to be challenging.